and we can jump right into it. Hi, Alondra. Sorry about all this that's going on. We're not going to have as long of the hour tonight just because it did cut into the time. So I'm probably going to go till about 5 of 6. And it's just going to be a review of what we did last week because I feel as if maybe I went a little too fast and we could use some more work on it. I myself had a quiz on 7th chords today in my music theory class, so really living in it. But okay, so here we go. Office hours, 5able. And it's going to be the same as last week. I really want to do based off of your guys' questions. I didn't get sent any full worksheets. So I don't know if you want to send me those. I can look at them. I know if you want me to start dedicating like a specific amount of time to talking to you guys one-on-one about the worksheets, it's hard to explain your corrections over text message, which I know, Kurt, you had asked me questions and it was probably hard to like figure out what I was trying to say. But we're going to get into a little more of what you had asked later. So this is just the 7th chords. Does anyone have any burning questions before I start that they don't want to forget?
It's just like the thing that was like hard for me is that in the worksheet like you were given the key and then you were given like stacked notes. I didn't know like which one was the root and then how to build off of that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm gonna keep this slide up right now because I think this would help. So when you're given the key, like here, we're looking at this scale with the 7th chords built on top of it. The key, we're in the key of C, right? So you're in the key of C, but if they're asking you for like a 2 chord or like a 4 chord, 5 chord, your root is whatever note that specific chord starts on. So the key doesn't have to really do anything with the root other than that. So I can't think of the exact example that you had sent me, but we're going to do some more of those later. I have examples that I want to write out. And just to go over, we have the major 7th chord, dominant 7th, minor 7th, half diminished 7th chord, or the fully diminished 7th chord. And these are very good to know. I like to make flashcards, so I have like flashcards that tell me the different intervals. So it'll be like major 7th on the front, and then I write what it's made up of, a major triad with a major 7th. It's just good to have knowledge of that. And we did all this. I really think that the best way to go about these is to do them together, so that's why I kind of want to get to that. And we're going to talk about inversions more today. I have some examples with inversions. Okay, well, let's actually go back for a second. Are we okay with the notation here? The 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2.
Could you like review it a little? Just like go over
Yeah.
it?
Yep. So with 7th chord inversions, you're always going to know if something's a 7th chord. So if you're writing a piece of music and they say, okay, write this, we're in the key of D major and write a 5 chord. If it just says the V for 5 in Roman numerals, it's not a 7th chord. They don't want you to include that 7th. If it says the V with the 7 notated here, then that's the 7th chord. Okay, so you never want to include the 7th unless there's numbers like this indicating that it's going to be a 7th chord. So this is root position where everything's stacked neatly. So we have the 1, 3, 5, and 7. First inversion is notated by a 6, 5. So like you write that just how it's written here, 6 above a 5. I have to do it when I write it when I type it out to you guys, I have to do it with the slash in between just because it's how it is. But so first inversion, you bring that scale degree 1, you bring it up to the top here, and so on. They have it written a little bit weird. I would just keep it stacked with the G and the B like they are here. Second inversion notated by 4, 3, and the first and the third are now on top, and the fifth and the seventh are on the bottom. So when you're looking at inversions, just remember, okay, root position, first scale degree is on the bottom. First inversion, third scale degree is on the bottom. Second inversion, fifth scale degree, and then when you're in third inversion, the seventh scale degree is going to be on the bottom. And also that's pretty, some of these are simple to, if you're asked to identify what inversion it's in, like with this, you can tell that it's in third inversion because there's 3 here and 1 left over. Because really, if you wanted to bring it back into root position, they would just all go under it again. Does that make sense? So like I said, best way to remember it, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. You're just going to use 2 for third inversion. And there is no such thing as a third inversion triad. Remember that, because there's only 3 notes there, 4 notes here. Any questions about inversions? No? Okay. Let's get on to some fun stuff. I have my iPad. I didn't get good notes because that costs money that I'm not willing to buy right now. And also, when I go home, because I'm going home from school in a few weeks, I'm really excited about this. My roommate knows this. I'm really excited because I have a whiteboard in my room at home, like a legit big whiteboard from living out my teacher dreams when I was little, and we can use it. So it's gonna be a lot better. I guess I'll turn it this way. So I can't see anyone. There we go. Okay. I need to know the examples I just gave you. So this one, let's start drawing it out. Draw out the lines. This is thicker than I wanted it to be. It's okay. Uh-oh. And we'll do this one in treble clef. So this is going to be an F dominant 7th chord in first inversion. So the way that we would write this is F7, but not 7 actually, because it's in first inversion. So let me erase that. If it weren't an inversion, it would be just F7. Since we're in first inversion, what am I going to write next to it? What are the numbers? Anyone?
6, 3.
6.
6, 5.
Yes. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, that's a gorgeous 5 I just drew. So we'll do this in blue. So what I like to do when I write things in inversion is I like to write them out in root position first, because it's just easier to think about it that way. So root position, we starting on F. And what's our next note?
A.
Yes, because a dominant 7th chord is made up of a major triad and a minor 7th, right? So the major triad would be F, A, C. And then what would the 7th of this be? I can give you guys a way to think about this. So you know you want a minor seventh, right? So what's the note before F? E, right? And I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. E and F are close together. They're a half step away. That makes it major if they're a half step away. So you want there to be a whole step away when you make it minor. So it would be E flat here. Do you get what I mean? Okay. I think I said that wrong. Because you want the half step would make it minor, but you want it to be a major second because that's related to a minor seventh if you were to flip it. E flat to F, a whole step, major second, but then F to E flat is a minor seventh. Confusing way to think about it, but just think of the note before F. So are we good with this one? But it's an inversion, right? Trick question. So what note am I moving? What notes am I moving maybe? Notes. You tell me.
The first note goes up.
I can't hear you guys. Hold on. I'll take these out again. Okay, say it again.
The first note goes up an octave.
The first note is
F.
yes. So this up, it's gonna go right there, right next to it. So that's what your first one would look like. And then we have another. So our next one, let me go back to this. A flat major seventh chord in third inversion. So I'm going to give you guys a second to write out what you think that would look like, including how it would be notated. Because I think you can do it. So it's A flat. So note we're starting with. And it's A flat major seventh chord in third inversion. So
Third inversion means that
I don't like that. So remember, write out the root position chord first. It'll help you. Then you can erase it later and write the other one next to it.
Oh, I'm not muted.
You didn't say anything, so you're fine.
I was gonna say something like, okay, so for the third inversion, are we gonna for this one? I feel like I'm gonna have to go to the ledger lines. Is that right?
So even though you writing it in root position, you don't, because writing it in root position, you'd start on this A, right? But when you do it in inversion, if you don't want it to be so low, you can do it. Let's just do it and I'll show you how I would do it.
Okay.
Okay. So we have A flat. What is our third scale degree?
C.
Yep. C natural. And then we have an E flat, right? And then what's our seventh here? If we're in a major seventh chord.
G flat.
Yes.
Okay.
Right? Wait a second. I'm gonna look because I don't wanna say something and have it be wrong. Major. Let me think. So if we're doing this, E flat to F whole step. Yeah, so that is a G flat, you're right. Okay, so here's how I would write it in inversion. I'm gonna use a different color. We're getting chaotic with all the colors here. So I would write it, we're gonna be left with this note on top, right? This is going to be the one in the bass meaning the lowest note. So if that's a G flat, I'm gonna write that here and then use these notes above it. So it's like if I started it down here. So you just don't have to mess with a bunch of ledger lines. Are we good with this one? I can wait if you guys are still writing it down. Good.
Wait, okay, wait. So I put like, I got that, but like, I just flipped like the flat. So like, I put C flat instead of like E flat. So how did you get E flat?
The E flat, so this one, so C flat would make it minor. Because if you're thinking in the key of A flat, that's 4 flats. And C isn't one of them, so we don't want to lower the C, it's still natural, but E is one of them. That's in the key signature of A flat. You know what I mean? So if I were to like, I think of it as if I was playing it out, like that's A flat, C natural, E flat. That makes it major. If we were gonna do C flat, it would be making it minor, which we don't want to do here. So E flat just fits into the key signature. So you can't forget about what is in the key signature. Because like if we were looking at the one in F and there was a B in there, then you would have to make that B flat because the B flat's in the key signature. So we just don't want to forget what's in the key signature. Did that help a little bit? Yes, okay. Okay, we're doing okay on time. Okay. Let's see if this works. We'll do these in bass clef. So the first one for this one is going to be, let me see, an E half diminished 7th chord. So yeah, E major. I don't know why I didn't write that in here, but E major half diminished 7th chord. So that's going to be notated like so. Was this in any inversion? Don't think so. So this is just like this. This one, I'm gonna rewrite this a bit smaller because I need to go further down. E major, half diminished, seventh. Okay, so our first note, if we are in E, we're starting with E, and we're in bass clef. You guys look both busy at work, so I'm assuming you're trying to figure out what this is. Don't forget, we're in the key of E major here, so think about that when you're making it diminished, half diminished. Because if we're making a half diminished seventh chord, it's comprised of a diminished triad with a major seventh on top. So our second note here, we have E, and then we have G natural, because in the key of E, it would be a G sharp. Since it's diminished, we're making a G natural. That's not good, that one. Then we have a B. What's this B gonna be? Gonna be B natural, B flat. If it's a diminished triad, we lower both the third and fifth, so this is going to be a B flat. Does anyone want to take a stab at what the seventh will be?
It's just D natural.
Yes. Perfect. And this one is not an inversion, so we are all good on that front. If you wanted to, you could write out the key signature as well, but since it's just this one specific chord that they're giving you, it's okay if you don't. And next one. So we have an A, notice how I'm using a lowercase A minor, A minor, diminished, seventh. So this one's fully diminished.
That's also in bass clef.
Yep. If I were to jump to, this is just a quick side note, if I were to jump to another clef, I would have to do this. I'd have to put a second line there, so it was ending. But since it's just one, we'll stay in that one. So the A is here. A minor. So what's the key signature of an A minor scale? This is easy. Don't overthink it.
Oh, it's C.
So there's no sharps, no flats. So fully diminished means we're starting with a diminished triad and adding a diminished seventh on top. So our diminished triad would be A, is this right? What is it going to be then, Kurt?
C flat.
Yes. Then we have E flat, right? Cool. I'm going to write this out here just so it's less condensed. And then on top with the G, what is that G going to be?
Is it G double flat?
It is. So let me play that for you. Wait. This is, okay, I know what we did. It's not going to be C flat because if we're thinking about the steps in between the note, that's only 1.5 steps away. C. Because A to B is a whole step, B to C is a half step. So yeah, that's my bad. Sorry, I'm just getting other notifications too. So this one makes it that gives it the train tracks theme there. Originally, if it were major, it would be. We're making it. No. Flat. Okay, I am going to move on. We still have one more left of these, but I would like to move on to the next part because that gets into more what you were saying.
I thought for the minor, I thought you had to lower the third.
You do, yeah.
Oh,
So,
but it's. Oh wait, no, I can't say it. I don't know.
No, you're right. You're right. I think I confused you guys when I was talking about it being related to C and there's no sharps, no flats. But when we are doing this particular one, yeah, so I confuse you guys because we might be in the key of C, but we are doing a different, it's like what we're about to do next. Like you had previously asked me about key of C, but it's a different root. So for this one, we do C, D, like it's the sixth scale degree in the key of C, which makes it minor because when we go back to those, the Roman numerals, you know how I was having you guys write Roman numerals? 6 is always lowercase, right? So that means it's minor. So that was on me when I was confusing you guys with that. But I know what I just said was a jumble, but we're going to do a few more examples just because we're running out of time. So this first one, if I could stop doing that, that would be so great, is we're in the key of D. So write that down first and figure out what the key signature is. gonna do it up here. And we'll do this one in treble. So the key of D, what's our key signature? How many sharps? Yes. Okay. So this one is in the key of D, which we're going to notate like this. And we are looking for a 5, 4, 3. I'm going to make that a bit smaller. 5, 4, 3. So this is how we're going to build up our skills for part writing, because in part writing, you're going to be given the Roman numeral and its inversion if it is inverted, and they're going to expect you to write it. So here we start. Let's write it in root position first. We start with a D. So notice how the 5 notated with a Roman numeral here is uppercase, right? That means it's going to be major, correct? Cool. So this is, you asked me about this last week. Remember when we were looking at the dominant 7th chord, how it was notated with a 5? So this is where that comes into play. Whenever you have a 5, it's going to be a dominant 7th chord. Because that 5 5th scale degree right there is the dominant tone of that scale. Remember when we were looking at like, oh, leading tone, like all of that way back in the beginning when I was telling you guys to know the important names of some of the scale degrees? That's what I was talking about. So the 5th is the dominant chord. So it's going to be major here. So write this as if it were a dominant 7th chord. So not in D, because that's my bad. I'm worried that I'm rushing. What is the 5th scale degree of in D?
A.
Yes, so that's going to be our bass note for now, before we invert it. And if we're making this a dominant 7th chord, it's going to be a major triad with a minor 7th. So A, C sharp, which is already notated in the key signature. I'm so sorry, people are slamming doors. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but A, C sharp, and E makes our major triad, right? And let's see if I can get up there. I don't know how high I can go, but it's going to be a G. We're going to invert it in a second so you'll be able to see it. And is there any accidental on that?
It should be flat. Because it's dominant.
So, yes. But here, since the root, this is going to confuse you. Your mind's going to blow when I say this, okay? So we're in the key of D, but the root of this specific chord here is A. So the way it falls, if we're just using the key signature, the only thing that's going to be sharp is the C in this chord, right? So it naturally just makes it so that it's G natural, because that's what we would want it to be, because that's how you want it to sound. So I'm trying to think of the best way to word it. Since we're in a major key, we're in D major. Okay. Oh no. Did you guys just get cut off?
No.
Oh my god, it says someone logged into this account, so I think I might have to go, but I want to go over this, at least this one. We're in D major, right? The only things that we're putting accidentals on here is the C sharp, because that makes this chord naturally a dominant seventh chord. Because when we're looking at the Roman numerals of a major scale, the 5 is capital in the major scale, right? So here it would just be, let me play it for you because I think it might make more sense. I think I'm getting. So that makes it the minor seventh there, because it's the minor seventh up from the root of this chord, which is A. Does that make sense? So here, if you want to look at it, this is a major third between these two. This is a, I'm sorry, this is a, yeah, major third because it's C sharp. This is a minor third, which is how we make up a major triad, major, minor. And then here we have a minor seventh. So you just want to think of that, because if it were G flat, then it would be diminished seventh. That was the long-winded version of that. So we didn't finish this one. It would be, if we're in 4/3, that's second inversion, right? So it's going to look like this. We'll do it down here. It's gonna look like that. And you can write in C sharp if you want. You don't have to because it's already indicated over in the key signature. But yes. Okay.
So if the G was sharp, that'd be like the regular major seventh.
That, yes, yep. Because that is a major seventh up from A.
Okay. Is this like a wrong way of thinking of it? Since the starting note is A, I'm thinking like all the notes in this chord, it's gonna like follow like the like A major's key signature, and then I'm gonna like add and subtract accidentals based on that.
You can think of it that way. I think of it that way as well. Just don't forget the key signature that you're in, because you don't want to be caught putting any extra sharps in or flats. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
A major has more sharps than that would. So this is a way to think of it. Yeah, I do that as well. But you don't want to have complete disregard for the key, because when we get to part writing, you need to have everything in the same key. So really it just works out the way you write it here, because with the key signature, we already have a C sharp. So A, C sharp, E, major triad right there. And there's no G sharp in the key signature. So you know it's a G natural. So really I could have just looked at the key signature and written it, and it would have been fine. Because it's just how it's naturally built when you're going up the scale. Do you know what I mean? Because if I were to write out all of the scale degrees with seventh chords built on top, this is how it would look, without me having to add any accidentals or anything. So we do have to sign out, but I can try and I can make a video for you guys or something. I'll give you guys something to make up for the time we lost with this. but yeah, just keep, if you guys aren't done with those worksheets that I talked about last week, just keep working on those, and then please send me what you've done so far so I can try and give you any corrections. And even if you need, like, I can try and set up another Zoom for us. If you want it one-on-one, just let me know with any specific questions. It can be like a 10-minute Zoom if you want it to be, but I'm sorry this was really rushed. I will try better next week. Next week I want to continue with 7th chords just because I think they're tricky. And then maybe touch on some sight singing because I had some questions in my inbox about sight singing. So I know everyone's favorite pastime. But before I officially sign out, ask me any questions in my DMs. There's like a group with you, the 3 of us. I just made that once because you guys come. So